Good morning. This is Linda Larson Schlitz. I am in Wisconsin on a lake just a mile or so from my house. When I got up this morning, I saw some orange peeking out at 4 o'clock in the morning. So I thought I'd come down here and do some recording, let you enjoy the sunrise. But then it clouded up. When I left home, it was all cloudy and I was all bummed out because I thought, well, there's not going to be any beautiful sunrise on the lake. But then I got down here and I got set up, and though you couldn't see me on the camera, and I just decided, well, I'm going to put it up anyway, even if it is all cloudy. Now things are changing. The sun is starting to peek through the clouds. You know, that's how life is. If you're in business or if you are looking to make life wonderful and thought everything was going to go great and was going to work out quickly, well, that's not real. Life is a challenge. Life requires change. Life requires us to go with the flow sometimes and just trust that everything's going to work out. For me, I have a God that has got everything under control. If you just look at this for a moment, you will see that there is an incredible amount of awesomeness in this lake. You can hear the birds singing, you can see the clouds and the sun starting to peek out. How does that happen? It doesn't happen just by accident, nor did we happen by accident. We've been created, I believe, for a particular purpose. And that purpose is to be a faucet of hope to people who have none. It is to be that drink of water when people are dying of thirst. And you could survive on the water in this lake and the fish in it. You could survive. And the grass of the fields and the birds of the air, these didn't happen by accident. So when things aren't going your way, when they're not going as you expected, when things get tough and finances are challenging and relationships are not what you'd like them to be, and even if they fall apart, you can trust that good things are going to happen. Good things are going to come along. It's going to take time. And it's going to take effort on our part. Sometimes it's about us. Sometimes it's because we haven't done what we coulda, shoulda done. And though I hate using those words, coulda, shoulda, woulda, fact of the matter is, if we're honest with ourselves, we probably could have done some things different. But that's the past. The past is the past, and we can't change that. We can change today and how we live today. We can make a decision that things are going to not just go randomly as they're supposed to go. There is that piece of it. God does things even when we're not doing what we're supposed to do, and He takes care of us. But there is a piece of what we need to do. God does take care of those who take care of themselves to some extent. We've got to do our part. A workman's worthy of his hire. And what that means to me is that we have all been gifted with something that nobody else in the world ever has been or ever will be. And because of that, we've got to put that gift out to the world, because somebody needs us to do whatever it is we do. If it's sharing our experience, our strength, and our hope, that's what we need to be doing. Some of us get stuck in jobs and doing things in life that we are miserable doing. There's a reason for why we're miserable. Maybe it's our attitude, but oftentimes it is because we're not where we're supposed to be. And usually we know it deep down. We know there's something more to life. And so many of us think we can't do that thing that we love until we retire, or we can only do it on the weekends, and we can only do it volunteering, and that we could never get paid to do the things we love to do. We could never get paid to work in the nursery at church, or share our story with people. But we can. That's how God intends it. That we are able to do what we are gifted to do and get paid for it. I really believe that. Oh, sure, sometimes we have to volunteer. Sometimes we give of ourselves because it's the right thing to do, and it's because what we need to do to help somebody, because not everybody has the money to pay us, but it'll come from somewhere. He'll take care of us. And that's the struggle with business. That's the struggle with going into business and doing what you love to do, is that it doesn't always happen overnight. There isn't always that miracle get rich quick scheme. Now, there are times that people are fortunate enough or blessed to do that. For the majority of us, I think, there is a challenge. Noah didn't build the ark in a day. It took some time, and it took faith. Nobody thought this was real. They'd never even had rain. I don't know if you know that, but there had never even been rain. Things were watered by a mist that came up from the ground. So for him to say it's going to rain for 40 days and 40 nights, people are like, what are you talking about? What's rain? Well, there's going to be this water coming down from the clouds, and it's going to flood the whole earth. Oh yeah, right, Noah. How many of us have heard that from loved ones, from people that are outside of our reality and our walk with our higher power, that we know what we're supposed to do? We know that this is the right direction, but people don't believe in us. You can never get paid singing. You can never get paid playing an instrument. You can never get paid with your artwork. That's a pipe dream. Get a real job. We've all heard that. And especially those of us who maybe have made some wrong choices in the past. I work with a lot of people who have made some bad choices and have ended up in jail, have ended up getting fired. Well, I've been fired too. Was it bad choices? Well, no, it may not necessarily always be bad choices. Maybe we did the right thing by intervening or advocating for someone, even if it was not the right thing for some people to think we should do. We got to follow what our values and what our heart is telling us. But we also have to be willing to pay the consequences for that. Sometimes that means we're going to end up broke. We're going to end up homeless. We're going to end up in jail. That's what it may mean. But so many of us also cope in ways that are not good for us. And they're not the way it's supposed to be, because we're not the kind of example to our kids, to our families, to our coworkers when we make choices to, drink or do alcohol, or do drugs, or lots of other bad behaviors that we choose to do because we're trying to cope with life. There are better ways to cope, and doing what we're supposed to do is the best possible way to cope with life, because we're going to have that sense of satisfaction. We're going to have that sense of value because we're doing what we were created to do. And we know that there is hope in that. Or if you don't know, let me tell you, there's hope in that. So just hang in there. Keep doing what you know you're supposed to be doing. Set your goals. Do what you need to do to meet those goals. And if you need help with that, which I'm telling you, you will, because none of us are created to do this alone, get a coach, get a counselor, get a friend who will hold you accountable to follow through with that. And once you do, you're going to find that joy and that peace and that sense of well-being that you've been missing. This is Linda Larson Schlitz, Faucet of Hope Ministry. I hope you'll hang in there with me. Come back and listen some more. There's a lot of people I'm going to have on my show, on my Faucet of Hope show. That'll be on YouTube, but also in our daily meditations and in our daily blogs that we'll be doing, not just me, but other people who have a blessing to share, because we all do. And maybe it'll be you someday. Come be on my team, and it will be you someday. Thanks for listening.